Is it Arthur on this line?
Yes.
How you doing, Arthur?
Not too bad. How about yourself?
I'm pretty good.
Hey, so actually, I had a question or a couple questions. And I don't know your name.
I'm Matt.
On TV.
I'm Don.
Matt's the Hawaiian shirt guy.
Yep, that's
okay.
right.
So
The what guy?
Hawaiian shirt guy.
Oh, I thought he said blinding shirt guy. And I was like, it's okay.
It's okay.
Go ahead.
I'm not insulting your wardrobe there.
It's fine. Everybody else does.
Right. So here's the question I have. And you're Matt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the name. So you were formerly a person of faith. Was this because you were brought up in the church, your parents indoctrinated you, the churches, that sort of thing?
I think that's the best explanation. It's not like I recall ever coming to any kind of decision on my own. I was definitely raised a particular way. There was a time in my teen years when I became more active in the church where I had this terrifying concern that getting saved at age 5 couldn't have possibly been real, because I know I couldn't have understood it well at 5 because I just gained a proper understanding of my teen years. So
right.
Clearly I'd just been walking and kind of living this life, but I'd never really done it with the sincere appreciation. So in my teenage years, of course, I got saved again, and probably more than once, because you get saved again, and now that's solved, and then you get hot for a while,
right?
And then you fall into partying with your friends and stuff, and then you go to camp or a revival, and they talk about God knows that you've fallen away from the side,
screws, right?
And then you do now I'm going to rededicate my life, and that probably occurred a few times over 5-10 years.
Yeah, I can relate to what you're saying.
But let me add, your parents kind of put you on this path, but then you, as an adult, really embraced Christianity, right? You really decided to go in with both feet, right?
Well, I was active in my teen years.
Mm-hmm.
I was fairly inactive during the time that I was in the Navy. Then around the age of 30 or so, I became more active again with the focus on actually becoming a minister. It was my sincere goal to lead people to Christ and fulfill my obligation under 1 Peter 3:15, something that no Christian caller who calls into the show ever seems to be able to do. They don't ever seem to be able to provide the reason for the faith that's with them. It's always this, I kind of believe because of faith, or it feels good. There's no real reason.
It's all based on faith.
Yeah, and see, my problem was...
It can't be quantified or defined. It's just faith. You have to believe, and we all believe it, so you should believe. It's a tremendous amount of peer pressure.
Yep, and when I was unable to actually come up with a reason, I don't fault them for not being able to give reasons, because that's the reason I'm an atheist. I was unable to come up with any reasons to justify these beliefs, and upon examining and find there's no good reason, not only just to believe this particular story, but to believe that any of those stories are actually accurate. It's not even a good reason to hypothesize a God in the first place. I mean, it's granted the Greeks did it, with Zeus. We need an explanation for lightning, so there's a God up there hurling lightning bolts.
Well, I think it was Napoleon who once said, and I'm probably going to butcher the quote, but he basically said that he loved religion because it was a great way to control the masses.
There's a lot of quotes. There's some quotes that even predate the time of Jesus that have much the same sentiment.
Sure. So I don't know if it was you or the other gentleman that made the comment about he was looking into religion, and the more that he looked into it, the more he realized he couldn't align his belief.
Well, I think
structure.
that's true of a lot of atheists. That it's really sort of an intellectual process where we study it. The more I have studied, the less sense Christianity makes to me, and the less sense a lot of other religions make to me. The more I study it, and I think that's true of a lot of atheists.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of an intellectual journey in a sense.
Well, just if I might add just like my own personal experience or viewpoint, because I don't know if I can categorize myself, and if I had to, what I would, but I would say earlier, when I was young, very young, I sort of had fell into a belief structure or a faith structure, and this might sound silly to you, but it stemmed from watching the early tele-evangelical shows on TV. It was like sort of the Ernest Angley, Rex Lombard show that was on TV,
right.
And I can remember as early as 6, 7, 8 years old being drawn to that and thinking it was a good thing and that sort of thing. And so I was brought up Catholic, only it was sort of a, once a month Easter, Christmas sort of Catholic household. And then as I got older, my early teens, I thought of myself as a Christian, person of faith, a belief based upon that blinding faith. I couldn't quantify it or define it. It was just something that I thought made me feel good. And so then in my high school years, I, believe it or not, converted to Mormonism. This was brought upon by a tremendous amount of peer pressure. I moved out of my parents' house at an early age and moved in with a friend whose family took me in, and they were Mormon, of course. And so you go to the Mormon church, and they're beautiful people. They're wonderful people, very hospitable, very friendly, and
I haven't met a
outgoing.
Mormon I didn't like.
From day one, they shake your hand and they just shower you with that love, and you're accepted and you're not judged. And so I sort of gave in to that and thought of myself as becoming a Mormon, so I was baptized into that. And then, interesting enough, in my own life's experience, there was an organization called Young Life, which was a community outreach to junior high and high school youth. And there was this youth minister that used to come on school grounds at the time, and he really, I guess, heavily recruited me to come to the meetings and that sort of thing. So then my senior year, I started going to some of these meetings, and I started questioning the whole Mormon thing. And, of course, he was a born-again Christian, so he's very anti-Mormon. I hadn't fallen anti-Mormon thing or the whole Christian thing, but, you get caught up in the whole experience of your fellow classmates, your friends going, and it's a bunch of singing and fun, and it was fun. And they had a video of a camp, Saranac Lake, upstate New York. It was Saranac Camp, and it looked like a lot of fun. You go up there for a week and you water ski, and they capture the flag, and you do all the fun stuff. And I wanted to go. However, the Mormon church that I was a member of had a different sort of path they wanted me to take, which was they wanted me to go up to upstate New York, to Palmyra, New York, where they put on the pageant, which is the reproduction of the Book of Mormon, or the story of the Book of Mormon.
You got like 10 seconds.
And so what ended up happening behind because I had made no decisions as to what I was going to do. I didn't decide whether I was going to go to New York or if I was going to go to Saranac Lake. I
got to stop you now, Arthur.
Okay.
I apologize. Sure. We've only got 45 seconds left. Please feel free to email tv@atheist-community.org. I wouldn't mind talking to you. I'd love to have a continued discussion. And also, you can tune in again next week and even call back then if you want to. Thanks to everybody, to all our callers. Thanks to the crew: Steve Elliott, Joe Rhodes, Frank Michelle, Sterling Sy, Shelley Roberts, John Icoletti, and Don Baker, who is right here.
That's me.
We'll be back again next week. Enjoy your Easter holiday, whether you celebrate it or not. Have a good piece of chocolate. Drive safely. Take care of each other. Be nice to each other. And we'll see you again next week.
Thank you to our callers.